Morning, everybody. Welcome along. Today is what is today? Today is Thursday, the 10th of September 2020. This is our 8 a.m. movement snack, our first opportunity to add additional movement minutes into the day. Now, if you're on catch up and this isn't the one that you want, then go and find the one you do want on our Facebook group, and I'll see you later on for the catch up. Just drop us a little comment. Let us know you've been here. It's always good to know when people have been here, how things are going, what you've been up to, all those sorts of things. It's great to know what's happening in your world as well. The good thing about catch up, obviously, you can watch it anytime you want to. You can skip through this little preamble, or you can stay with it. You know, we have so we have a little bit of fun before we get started as well. A little bit of catch up, find out what people have been doing. What's the weather like? We have a national weather forecast, and sometimes we have a European or a global forecast. So it's overcast here today, just to let you know. So if you are on catch up, enjoy. And remember that you can watch it whenever you want to. You know, we get comments in about people who've watched the 8 a.m. movement snack at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and done all three of them together, that sort of thing. So drop us a little comment. Let us know you've been here. It's always good to know. I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to go and have a chat with our live people, our live attendees. We're all live, our live attendees. So I'm going to go and leave the after party, as Bex would say, and go and chat. Take care. Okay, so if you're joining us live, let us know you're coming on board. Say hello. Let me know you're here. I can see there's one person in so far, but no little icon popped up today, so I can't even take a guess at who it is. So drop us a little comment. Let me know who's here. Who am I talking to? Apart from myself. Which is great. Sometimes it's good to talk to yourself. You get the answers you want, don't you? The worrying time is when you don't get the answers that you want. That's when it's time to worry. So here we are on Thursday, the 10th of September 2020. Good grief. Where is this year going? Good morning to you, Gillian. First part of the Port Talbot Posse is in. A washing is out and cuppa in hand. I've just finished my first cuppa of the day. And I have to admit, I've only just got out of bed, as you can probably tell from the hair. Look at that, flatten it down a bit. Next stop is the shower straight after this. Shower, shave, ready for the rest of the day. I thought I'd grab a few extra minutes. That's the problem. So I thought, I'll just have a couple of extra minutes in bed. Never do that. Never do that. Right, who else have we got coming on board? I can see someone else has popped up, but I can't quite make the image out again. So say hi to me. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Coventry is where I am. Overcast this morning. It's supposed to be nice, but overcast this morning at the moment. Let's hope it cheers up. It doesn't matter if it doesn't, does it? Another day with the granddaughter today. So on granddad duties all day today, apart from having to go out to work later on. So I'm on 4 p.m. later on. So that'll be interesting. We'll tackle that one when we get to it. Hey, good afternoon. Sorry, good morning to you, George. I'm talking about afternoon, so that's done me. And good morning, George. Sunny again where you are, forcing the eyes open this morning. I know that feeling really well. Good morning, Dawn. Good to have you with us. Hello, welcome along this Thursday morning. And bright and breezy for some people, a little bit overcast here. A hodgepodge of weather, I'm sure, across the UK. This is our 8 a.m. movement snack. We're in week 25, believe it or not. And have you seen the posts about October the 1st, International Older People's Day? It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're going to do a snack every hour. On the hour. Whoa. So hopefully you can join us for that. And I think there's starting to be a lot of interest in that as well, which is really good to see. We're about 3 or 4 minutes away from our 3, 2, 1. I'm feeling a little bit dejected today. Not enough hair to do anything with. I couldn't tie it back like Bex. I couldn't put a croissant on top of my head like Kelsey did. I'm going to refrain from telling you any jokes because my jokes are awful. The ones I can share with you anyway are awful. Good morning, Gillian. Certainly is. The 1st of October is going to be a busy day. Don't worry, Dawn. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't mind that I can't do anything with my hair. I didn't get to see Kelsey live yesterday because I was on Grandad duty, and Aoife wanted me to do stuff with her. So at that point in time, so I caught it on catch up, and I was like, oh no, oh no, please stop the jokes. And then of course I had a special request from Bex for yesterday morning to do it with the horse in the background that nibbles on my head when I'm sat down. And we had the why the long face joke as well. So it was a day of joke and hair yesterday, wasn't it? But I'm going to resist. I'm not even going to tell you about. No, I'm not even going to go there. No, let's start it again. Good morning to you, Bex. You're on board, I can see. Good morning to Carol Kent, who's in here, but definitely an autumn nip in the air. There isn't there, this morning? And okay, Bex, why did the chicken cross the road? I'll go for it. Carol, come on, we need a joke to start the day. All right, I'll squeeze one in a minute for you. And Kelsey has a huge suitcase of those jokes. Prepare for more. Ask me. Go on, why did the chicken cross the road? Bex, why did the chicken cross the road, Bex? Okay, what do you call a man with a spade in his head? Doug. To avoid Kelsey's jokes, I love it. So what do you call a man without a spade in his head? Douglas. The horse is stabled this morning, Bob. I thought I'd pop back up to the top end of the lounge today. So the horse is stabled down the bottom there. He's having a day off. Just here, Diana, you are never too late though. Doesn't matter. Whenever you get here, you're never too late to join us. Okay, so it is 8 o'clock. Enough of the jokes. Let's get ourselves going. Lose the yeah, I agree, Bob. Oh, please stop the jokes. Quick good morning to Jane, who's in from Edinburgh. Quick hello to Kathy. Quick hello to Gillian. And let's get ourselves going. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training. Today is Thursday, the 10th of September, 2020. This is our first movement snack of the day, our first opportunity to add additional movement minutes into our day. We can do this in a standing position with some fixed external support, or we can do it in an active seated position. Should we get ourselves started? Okay, so if we're going for standing, then our posture, firstly, our heels are in line with our knees are in line with our hips. We're going to inflate that balloon we've popped in between our ribs and our hips, and we're going to lift a couple of extra inches to grow taller through the mid-region of our body. Lifting our shoulders up, bringing them back and pressing them down. Lengthening through our neck and using our external support if we want to. Last thing, knees are soft, look. So they're not bent, but they're not locked, they're soft. Okay, in our seated position, first thing we need to do is come from the back of the chair to the front third of the chair. So if we're sat in the back of the chair, we do a little hip walk into the front third of the chair. Let me bring this chair on side a bit so you can see. Yep, into the front third of the chair. Again, knees in line with our hips and our feet are flat on the floor. We're going to grow these extra inches and we're going to sit tall through our buttocks. So there's your active seated part to start off with. And then sitting tall, back is off, shoulders up, back and press down, neck lengthened. Down to the feet, and let's start with a foot pedal there. So lifting that heel off the floor, coming up onto the toes. And the ball of the foot, excuse me. From there, we can take it into a little bit of a march. We'll take it a little bit higher, and what we're doing is just lifting the foot off the floor. Not a huge amount, just clearing the floor slightly, with the toes being the last part of the foot to come off. And then we place the toes down, we place the ball of the foot down, and we place the heel. Now, whatever your pace is that you have is the correct pace. So this may not be the right pace for you. Whatever it is correct, okay? This can be a little bit tiring into our hip flexors in a seated position, so you may want to come back down to that pedal with lifting the heel, or even a foot tap out in front. There's plenty of options there for you as far as that is concerned. In our standing position, we can see this march a little bit clearer. So we've got that lift of the foot off the floor. Let me just change the angle on this camera slightly so you can see the feet a little bit clearer. So we can see we've got that lift of the toes just clearing the floor, and then placing them back down. We'll put an arm movement in as well. And our arm, if we have a look, we're driving it from our shoulder. So the elbow staying fairly tucked in towards the body, but it's not gripping it. So we're not rubbing it against the body. But then that gives us the focus into our shoulder joint to mobilise into there. Now, if we feel steady and stable in standing, let's bring both arms in. If we're utilising our support, then take a pause every now and again, as many steps as you need to change your support to the other side, and bring the other arm in. In our seated position, both arms if you can, and an option, hands together at the front, and a canoeing type motion, drawing those hands back towards the body, again keeping the elbows tucked in and working through the shoulder. So keeping that going, let me just alter this camera slightly. What we're doing is we're warming our body up, so we're getting it ready to start. Our circulation booster is all about switching the body on, ready for the activity we're about to do. So it's about opening the arteries a little bit more, getting the blood pumping, getting us breathing a little bit harder, mobilising the joint, warming the joint and warming the muscles. After about a minute or a couple of minutes, that's all we should need. We take a pause and we should feel as though we want to take a deep breath or a couple of deep breaths. Let's move on with our mobilisation. So we're going to start with our top trio today. All right, so first things first, shoulders. Lift them up towards the ears and then press them down. So lift and press, and this is exactly the same in our seated position. If you need to utilise support, one shoulder at a time and then change. Give yourself a little bit of extra support. Take your feet just outside your hips so you've got a bit of a wider base. And if you feel that there's less mobility on one side than the other, then do a couple of extra on that side. But keep the neck lengthened. It's the shoulders that are coming up towards the ears and then pressing back down. So bringing those shoulder blades down as if you're going to pop them into your back pockets. So really press them down. Feel the mobilisation in there. 3, 4 or 5 of those is all that you need. And then from there, let's move into a rotation of our shoulder. So have a look from the side here. I bring the shoulders forward firstly, lift them up and take them past my ears and then back and pressing down, bringing the shoulder blades together. So can you see there's a full rotation of that shoulder? And feel every part of that shoulder mobilising as you do that. Now again, if you need to utilise support, one side and then change. Seated position is exactly the same movement. And once more, if you feel there's less mobility on one side, then focus on that one for a couple of extra, just to really start to try and loosen up and gain some more mobility within there. 3, 4 or 5 of those. And then we'll move on to our head. Now, wider stance to start off with on this one. Give ourselves a bigger base of support. We're going to turn the head from side to side, and this can challenge our balance. So, have support available. It may not mean that you need to hold on all the time, but just have it available so you can place your hand down. Or come to a seated position. If you're going to come to a seated position from standing, feel the chair behind you, lower with control, and then a little hip walk into the front third of the chair for me. So our movement, eye line staying level, turn to the side, pause in the centre, and then across to the other side. Now as I say, it can challenge your balance, so a wider base of support, some support available if you need it. Turn, pause, turn, pause. Eye line staying level, so we're not changing the position of the head, we're just moving it round. The little pause in the centre to regain our posture, and the other way. Focus on still standing and sitting tall, feeling yourself growing. I said to somebody the other day, stand tall, get your body taller, but feel taller as well. So if we think like that, it helps us to hold this position. 3, 4 or 5 of those on each side. And again, if you felt there's a little bit less mobility on one side, you might want to do an extra couple, either now or a little bit later on the one side, so that you can try and work on mobility there. Now, let's move into our chin tuck, our custard cream chin. Okay, so eye line level, fingers on the chin, and we're going to straighten out this part at the back. Okay, so we press it in and see the double chin creating and forward, or we keep the fingers there and come back and forward. Now it's a matter of preference to you which one you want to do, but you're lengthening out through the back of your neck. And again, I did this with somebody the other day and they'd never done it before, and they're like, oh blimey, that feels good. Lengthening through. Our head is the heaviest part of our body, or one of the heaviest parts of our body. So we're just restacking it, the neck onto the top of the spine, onto the axis, and lengthening through the back of the neck. We spend a lot of time like this, our heads starting to come forward. If we're working or writing or even reading, we tend to bring our heads forward, don't we? So just stacking it back is a good thing to do. 3, 4 or 5 of those, and then come back in and let's have a circulation booster again. So arms, feet, both together, individually if you want to, anything, so we just give ourselves a little boost again. Now those head movements, it's great to practice those in these sort of environments because they're things we do every day. When we're crossing the road, we're turning our head. When we're in the house, we're looking for something, we'll turn our head. So practice them here. Not only is working on the mobility of them, but it's a great opportunity to practice that movement and to feel how it might challenge our balance and how we can counteract that. Take a pause there for me and let's move into our trunk trio. So we're going to start with a bend down to the side. Shoulder width apart with those feet, so you're outside your hips, and slide one hand down towards your knee and back up. At the same time, the other one comes upwards. Now have a look at the movement from the side. Straight down, straight up. There's no forward movement, there's no backward movement. If we're utilising support, then come in towards the support. And in your chair, you might want to use the legs of the chair as a guide. And the reason I say that is just so that we can try and make sure that we come straight down, straight up. So imagine yourself as a piece of toast in a toaster. Something we all do every now and again, don't we? We always imagine ourselves as a piece of toast, do we? Straight down, straight up is the only movement we have. And this is, again, something we will do every day in life. We may bend down to pick something up. So we're working on the mobility through our trunk, and our trunk is active in everything we do. So you think about lifting to get something, reaching to get something, coming down to get something, picking something off the floor, even just turning to put your seatbelt on. The trunk is involved, so it's really important that we mobilise it. 3, 4 or 5 of those on each side for me. Or for you, sorry, not for me. So you've got that mobilisation happening through here. When you've done your 3, 4 or 5, take a pause and we're going to go into a trunk rotation. Now have a quick look at your options here before you decide. So base of support, okay? The movement is this. To the side, pausing in the centre, to the other side. Hips are staying locked, so there's not movement in those hips. If you're utilising support, turn in towards your support, do that side and then change. If you feel your hips are moving, what you can do is support yourself against something. So I'm just supporting myself against the fireplace here. Now as I turn, as I do that rotation and then come back into centre pause, if I feel my bottom moving in its position as far as the support is concerned, I know that I've got some movement in my hips. So that's a good indication for you. Likewise in a seated, and again this might be one that you prefer to come into a seated position for, we've got twist to the side, the rotation, and then into the pause. And if I feel that one of the buttocks lifts slightly, I know that I've got some movement into my hips. So choose which one you want to do and go 3, 4 or 5 of those on each side. Now hands wise, you can do what you want with, but try and keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. So in seated, I quite like this one, taking it across. And if you had support in front of you, you could do the same thing, taking the hand, sliding the hand across. In standing, we can cross the arms, we can have them by the side, but what we don't want to do is twist the shoulder. Now, do you notice as well that with this one, you've got that head movement again, haven't you? So again, we've got some movement of the head. This time we're not isolating the head movement, but again, we've got the eye line changing its position. So it's a similar sort of movement. So again, you may need to utilize some support. Do it, use it. And that's why we'll go for this bit of a wider stance. So we've got a bigger base of support to work from to start with. 3, 4 or 5 of those on each side. Once you've done those 3, 4 or 5, let's take a look at our last movement for our trunk. So we're going to get the custard cream chin coming in again. Hips this time. What we don't want to do, we were talking last time about twisting them. We don't want to tip them forward, we don't want to tip them back. So we're focusing to our pelvis this time. So knees soft to help support all of that. Don't lock out. Yeah, make sure we keep those knees soft. And our movement is through our back. So chin staying, or eye line staying where it is. So we're going to get the chin coming in again. And here is our movement, back and forth. We're focusing onto these hips here and not moving them. So you might find that if you focus too much on them, you may not get the best movement there. You might be worrying, oh, I'm doing this. So a good thing to do is perhaps lean against something again, get that anchor point so you can feel whether there's any movement, and then you can really focus into this movement, into the upper body. Less focusing having to happen here now, it's more happening at the top. And in our seated position, come that way around for you. Repositioned my camera today so it looked a bit closer, but it's a bit too close, isn't it? So here, look, again, if I feel movement there, then I'm going to know that my hips and my pelvis is moving. And there's, can you see, chin tucked in, we've got that extension through the back. 3, 4 or 5 of those. And once you've done those 3, 4 or 5, take a pause for me and let's go back in to our circulation booster. Just give ourselves a little boost one more time. Now really focus on your foot placement still, so think about your ankle, feet and toes, because that's where we're going next, downstairs. Arms in as well, a little bit of movement there, just to give ourselves a little bit of a boost again before we go into our last trio, our ankle, feet and toes, which play a crucial part in our balance. Support. Leg closest to the support, staying soft, so not locking out. And this is going to be the leg that's doing the supporting for you. This is your moving part, this is your supporting part, okay? We lift and put the toes on the floor. Have a look the first couple of times, lift and place the heel in the same place. Once you're comfortable with it, take your eye line to the front, heel, toe, working at your own pace, but really thinking and feeling that movement of the toe up and down and the ankles, and at the same time you can put a little bit of a flex into the toes and a sort of splay into them at the top, so you give them a bit of an exercise as well. To focus on that would be better in a seated position, to actually focus on that real crunch of the toes. So in our seated position, the first thing we're going to do is take a little walk with our hips into the back of the chair. Okay, from here we can extend that foot out. Now we don't want to extend it out too high, just to here off the floor, and point the toes away, and there's where you can crunch the toes, look, and then flex them in towards your shin. Now if you start to bring that foot up too high, what you'll feel is some strength work happening into the thigh and into the calf, and really what we want to focus on is mobility. So just down low is fine, but point away, flex it in, and give those toes a crunch. So curl them as you take them down if you can, and then bring them back, and as you bring it in towards you, as you're flexing the foot in towards your shin, you're straightening those toes out and bring them slightly the other way. 3, 4 or 5 of those on each side is what you are looking for. And once you've done those 3, 4 or 5, take a pause. Okay, one last thing. If standing is on your radar, if this is where we're working towards, then let's just take this to the next level. and see it in practice. I know we do this on a regular basis, but it's always good to do this. Heel down as we step forward, roll through onto the ball of the foot, onto the heel, the back foot comes up onto the toes, and then we bring it back. And there is your ankle, feet and toes in an everyday situation. Now your ankles play a crucial part in our support, in our stability. So it's really good to focus on their mobility. And throughout the day, a lot of the moves that we do in our lunchtime snack focus on the strength of your ankles. And then when we get to the afternoon, to our sway and stretch, a lot of the movements are working on flexibility as far as your ankles is concerned. That's us done for a Thursday morning. I rambled on a little bit, I'm sorry. That's us done for a Thursday morning. Have a great day, everybody. You have Bex for a double today. So you've got Bex at lunchtime and at 4 p.m. this afternoon. And I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 8 p.m. I'll leave you with two last thoughts. What do you call a man with a plank of wood on his head? Edward. And what do you call a man with 3 planks of wood on his head? Edward Woodward. On that point, from me, Dave Montgomery, have a great day, everybody. Take care and keep crowbarring in before I say that. Keep crowbarring in those extra activities. Do some more mobility throughout the day for me, yeah? Have a great day. Bye.